Neponset Valley has been in business since 1993. We're a humane rescue, mostly feline, mostly cat rescue. We're based out of Norwood, but we don't have a shelter. Everything we do is through foster care. So we service the surrounding communities of Norwood, Walpole, Stoughton, Canton, Foxborough, Dedham, really anywhere. Randolph, I mean, if we get a call and we can help, we'll try to help.
I just have a passion for animals ever since I was young, and in particular cats. I'm excited to be here today. I'm the owner of Flora Explora. We do commercial landscaping, primarily in downtown Boston, Cambridge, Seaport. And I'm a supporter of the Neponset Valley Humane Society. And over the years, we've gotten close with the people that work there. And Kathy Tainter, who's the president, asked me if it would be okay to host an event. It's an all-volunteer society, so they have them at their homes. And as you can imagine, it's very hard to facilitate bringing people to individual homes to see kittens. So I said I'd be more than happy, and today's our first event that we brought kittens here, and potential adopters came as well.
We don't get any government funding. We do everything through fundraisers, and every dime that comes into the organization, every penny, I should say, 100% goes to all of our programs, goes to helping all the cats that we can. We're a small group, but we do a lot in the areas.
It was our first event. We did wing it pretty much for the first time. I said, do you want me to do anything special here? We're really just behind the scenes here at Flora Explora. We don't have a lot of people coming in other than our staff and employees. So Kathy came by and she said, there's really nothing you need to do. I mean, other than putting a few cat litter boxes down, which she brought, and some food and water, and having a place for people to park. It's a pretty simple event. People don't ask for a lot when it comes to, I think, adopting cats. They're not looking for something fancy. They're just looking for the beautiful animal or baby that they're going to take home. And we're already building, it seems like, some great relationships with the community. There are people that came today that there may not have been the animal that they wanted, or there weren't enough animals, but we have like several litters that we are going to now have appointments for people to come back here again. So I'm so excited that we're going to continue this, and this will be a place that the community can come to meet these beautiful cats.
Our programs involve trap, neuter, and return, which is called TNR for short. That's for our feral community cats. They're cats that are not adoptable. They're feral. They want really no human interaction. And that's our big mission, to try to stop the overpopulation of cats. And believe it or not, this year has increased dramatically in terms of how many feral and stray friendlies we've been getting calls for. We've got what they call kitten season, which used to be, in the spring into the summer, and then the summer into the fall. Although in the past, if anything is indicated of what we've gone through in the past couple of years, it continues all year long. But in the summer, in the winter time, a lot of times there's not as many cats showing themselves because they're trying to find, places to be and, to be safe and whatnot. But definitely it increases from, as soon as the weather starts to get a little bit warmer, all the way through the really freezing cold, weather that we get. So it's a revolving door, but I would say that we probably save at least a couple hundred cats a year, depending on how many litters of kittens that we get in, and how many stray cats we get, how many feral cats we get, and then how many community or feral colonies we're feeding at any given time.
A regular stray cat is one that probably lived in a home at one point. It's not afraid of people. You probably could pet it after a little bit of time when it gets used to you. A feral cat has had no contact with humans and is terrified of humans. So it might come around to eat, but it's the kind of cat that as soon as it sees you, it's going to run away. So that would be fair. And feral cats, when you get them in captivity, are going to hiss and they're going to swat and they're going to try to climb out of the cage. It's pretty clear what the difference is when you actually have them. There are so many feral cats out right now that we often get phone calls from people in the area that say there's a cat that's been coming to my yard. I don't know if it belongs to someone. So we go out with a trap. It's not a have-a-heart trap. It's better than that. And we will kind of train the cat to come to the trap, putting some food nearby it, or putting the food actually in it if we think the cat will go right for it. we cover the trap up and we just wait, and hopefully the cat will go in when it's hungry, and it goes in and it eats the food and the door closes behind it, and then we take the cat and we have it spayed and neutered and vaccinated, and then we house it at home and try to figure out if it's going to be able to be domesticated or not. Like, it depends on how feral it is. If we think there's a chance that it could be adoptable, we'll hold on to it and try to socialize it or send it to another foster to socialize. But if it is clearly not going to be socializable, we release it back to where we had trapped it from. We're at a point right now where veterinary care is really hard to come by, affordable veterinary care. So we don't like to trap feral cats unless we know we can get them spayed, because we don't want them living in a cage for weeks on end. So really right now, that's the hardest part.
We get a lot of calls from mothers and kittens. Some of the mothers are feral, but at like 4 to 5 weeks, the feral mother will bring the kittens to the food source. So we'll have to go get the mom and the kittens. Again, we'll do TNR with the mom and then get the kittens adopted if they're young enough and they're social enough. A lot of our foster homes will socialize the young kittens that come in that may not have had a lot of human interaction, which makes them adoptable.
If people see cats that they're worried about and they're not sure, call a local rescue. Most animal controls, they can't do the volume of cats that are out there. So calling a rescue is really the best place to go with that. If you're able to call a rescue and say, and I'll foster it, we love you, and we'll come faster, because that's what we need, is people who can actually house the cat while it recovers from the medical stuff that needs to happen, or doing the socialization of them. And I think people don't realize that those of us who work in rescue volunteer, and people can get upset that we can't come fast enough, or we can't take them, or we can't take another one, and it's because they live in our houses and we only have as much space as we have. So the best way that people can help is to volunteer to foster when you make the phone call that says, I need help, or I can give a donation, because all of the feral cats that we spay and neuter, we don't make the cost back on an adoption because we have to release the cats. So we just need help in so many different ways. We recommend that if they're worried about the cat, the first thing we would do is we call it a paper collar. So you write like a little note that says, this cat's coming around, is it yours? Please call me, I'm worried about it. And they put the collar on the cat, assuming it's a friendly cat. And then hopefully we find the owner that way, and we learn that it's an outdoor cat. If the collar never gets removed, then we know that it's not somebody's cat or it's not going home. Then we would try to trap it. We can scan it for microchips and see if it does have an owner or if it doesn't have an owner, and then we kind of go from there. There are people who will ask for a free kitten. Does anybody have a kitten? And people will complain about the cost of adopting. At the risk of sounding harsh, if you can't afford an adoption fee, you can't afford to properly vet your cat. Cats need to be spayed and neutered, and if they're going to go outside, it's going to cause a problem, because it's going to mate with another cat, and you're going to have kittens at your house, and then you're going to give away free kittens, and it just perpetuates the problem over and over and over again. So spaying and neutering is like the only way we're ever going to get control of this situation, but we're never going to win the war, ever.
As a foster, Neponset Valley is not a shelter. It's run on foster homes only. So if anyone wants to foster, please feel free. We desperately need some, but we all take them in our homes until we can get them adopted out. This is our first adoption event, so the people here have already been approved for adoption, and this little guy's going home with someone today, with his brother. You usually have them anywhere 2 to 3 months if they're babies. I've had these guys, they're 13 weeks now, and they were born in my house, so I've had them a while. The downside is sometimes you can become very attached, but it's still the best feeling. Like this little guy's taking a piece of me when he goes. He's my buddy. But I'm going to get teary. I'm so happy he and his brother got adopted today. So they're going to go to great homes, and they're going to be more spoiled probably than I could ever manage. I raised this little guy, and now he's going to go make someone else so happy. I am now retired, and ever since I was a kid, I just wanted to work with animals, and I'm a cat lover. I love dogs, but they're a little too much for me. So once I retired and had really nothing to do, I called Kathy. I filled out an application for fostering, and this is my second batch of kittens. The first batch was a feral mom and her 5 that we got successfully adopted, and this is my second batch. Again, you just take them in, and they pay for everything. You don't have to do anything except love them, play with them, feed them, keep them going, and take them to the vet if, for shots and things like that. Mama cat came to me. I named her Ema, and she was just pregnant. We're not sure. Definitely her second pregnancy, maybe another third, which is not healthy. So I took her in. She gave birth on a Monday, and by Tuesday something just wasn't right. And Kathy told me I could take her down to vets in Walpole here, Tufts Vets, and she had unfortunately a deceased kitten that she couldn't pass, and it was bad, and she was infected and everything. So she had to stop nursing. They did emergency surgery, which is part of all the donations that people give us. Goes to medical costs. And there's only so much of a discount you can get on a surgery with time and medications. So another volunteer, Lauren, took the kittens home to bottle feed them in the first couple of weeks. But then she got another foster crew in, so they gave me these guys back, figuring maybe reunite them with their mother, who she can't nurse now, but she plays with them. But it's kind of sad, but that's their little life.
We tailor our foster homes for cats just like we do our adoptions. It's a match. We want to make sure that whatever foster home the cats are going into, the people are comfortable. We have some people that, oh, I love the kittens and I really want to do the socialization and I really want to see the kittens and see that through. We have other people who are like, nope, I'll do the adults. I know, a lot of times it's harder to get adults a foster home or even adopted in some cases. So we tailor that. If people have children or they have other animals, we talk to them a lot about what they would be comfortable with and then match the cat with them and make sure that the cat's not stressed out. We don't want to move the cats too many times. But if we put a cat in a foster home and for whatever reason it's not working out, we'll just take it back and find another foster home. That very rarely happens because we do a really good job of matching the two together. It's a 24-hour, every 2 hours when they're so little, commitment. And Lauren and Kristen, who's out there, help do that. Lauren especially. For 5 weeks, these people took 6 kittens apiece, and then a couple people took others, and bottle fed them every 2 hours, 24/7 for 5 weeks. And sometimes there is heartbreak, but the good stories are what keep us going, and the people who support us and who help us with donations of food and litter and towels and things that we need for supplies, as well as monetary fundraisers. Our costs have gone up dramatically as the vet care costs have gone up. People are calling us because they've got a kitten, and as I said, Little's over there. As I said, we make sure that every one of our cats are spayed neutered. We use low-cost clinics to do that. At a regular vet, if somebody called their vet and said, I have a cat that needs to be neutered, a male who needs to be neutered, it's almost $600, if not more. For a female, it's $900. We do a lot of community support as well. People will call us. They can't afford the dramatically rising costs of spay neuter, so they'll call us looking for low-cost options, and we'll help them. If people really cannot afford, we've had people that have been laid off, we've had people that have been disabled, and they really just cannot afford to spay neuter their cat, and they think their only option is to surrender them. Again, we'll try to help as our resources allow us to. Anybody that wants to help foster on our website, which is neponsethumane.org, we have a foster application, we have a volunteer application, our adoption application is there as well. So people can fill out the application and email it to us, or they could just send us an email and say, hey, I'm looking for opportunities to help. We do a lot of food drives, which goes directly to our feral feeders and our fosters, because if our fosters need help with food or litter or anything like that, we'll provide that to them. They're gracious enough to provide us their time and their home to open it up to these cats that need help until they get adopted. So, we have some people that say, no, that's part of my donation, and we have other people that, need help with that kind of stuff, and we'll gladly do that. We also have a Seniors for Seniors program where we match senior cats with senior citizens, and that is a huge program for us. There's one woman, Lisa Crowley, who runs that program. She's got, I think, over 50 cats in it now, and if the seniors can't afford food or medication or vet visits, we will pay for it as our resources let us. And we do a lot of fundraising to try to help with that program as well.
We're hoping to continue doing these adoption events because this was a great day, and we have so many more kittens that are going to need help. So check your local Facebook pages, even Google like local rescue near me or something, and find them, because we're one of probably 5 or 6 in the area. So there's a lot of rescues that could use the help. People say, oh, I could never give it up, I love it too much. But people who foster love it because we do give it up, and it leaves us room to bring in more. So as hard as it may be to think about giving them up, if we think about, I can help another one, that's really where our minds should be.
These people have, full-time jobs, and they're still going out of their way to care for kittens and cats that nobody else would care for. I can't think of a better way to spend my time other than what I do at business to try and help that kind of cause.
Anybody that is at all interested should reach out to us because, like I said, there's a lot of other things that we have. We have a fundraising team. We have calls that need to be made, screening applicants, and those kinds of things that people can help with. So anybody that wants to do that, we've been around for a long time. Our name is known out there, I believe, and I believe we have a good reputation. So people should should know that they're not coming into an organization that isn't sure what they're doing. We've been around for a long time.
It's the best thing I've ever done. I'm living my best life right now.